Hi, Alex. This is Rich in Agvila, and we're going to do your remote scan today. We've both been looking over your notes that you shared with me and Agvila. And first, we're going to discuss your situation with each other, and you'll get some insights there. And then we're going to pick something, and then we're going to look deep into it, share what we find, and then we're going to do the next part where we do the fix on what we find. Okay, so what I'm noticing as a big issue, Aguila, is um, it centers around. There's two big areas. One, his mom dying, but also the part about being betrayed by those close to him, and most specifically the dad's girlfriend and his older brother. Uh, now, uh, I'm going to share some more details about that in a sec, but I wanted your thoughts on what you looked over.
Oh yeah, definitely seems like this is the place to target. Like there's someone you care for, care about, and all, and this is where you dedicate more of your life or attention, and then you lose, the person that you love and get attacked for it as well. That's pretty hardcore.
Yeah. Now, in the big picture, what one of the biggest things in a common thing that makes a person feel depressed or alone or isolated or bad, it's a personality characteristic of someone that they are close to, and we call the person a suppressive person. Uh, and if we are connected with a suppressive person, this is going to make our life miserable in so many different ways, depending on how suppressive they are. And uh, they are constantly, a suppressive person will constantly trigger an individual. Either right now in present time, the suppressive person, we call them an SP for short, suppressive person. The SP is uh, different ones have different tactics and techniques uh, to mess with the target individual. But generally, a suppressive person will make you try to make you be, do, or have something that you don't want. You don't want to be, do, or have that, but they're always fucking with you and making you feel wrong, bad, or guilty if you're not being, doing, or having what they want you to be, do, or have. Or the flip side, uh, they won't let you be, do, or have what you want to be, do, or have. You want to be this, you want to do that, you want to do that, and they will either stop you, try to stop you, or just make you feel like shit for doing it, being it, or having it. And they're insulting and they're toxic. Uh, and so the obvious strategy is you don't hang around people like that, and you will start getting better instantly. But you have to disconnect completely from those people to feel better and start your life will improve. You don't talk to them, you don't write to them, you don't accept emails, you block them, you don't hear from them because all you have to do is know that that person is trying to contact you and it will trigger your shit. Because even when they're not around, they've stirred up your case and they've stirred up your past lives relationships with them, so they don't even have to be around in present time. You could even marry somebody or have a boss that reminds you of the suppressive person that's really close to you, and that will stir up your shit. But it sounds like you, Alex, are having to live or be closely associated with these people. Either you have to live in the same house or they live close by, they come visit, or they write to you a lot. Some kind of interaction is going on a lot. And you cannot break free. You live in the same house, you're financially unable to break free. We have emotional dependence. We don't believe it's okay to not talk to family or people close like this. So breaking free of an SP is not easy, or everybody would do it. So we get that, Alex. So we might look into ways to help you. If you can't break free from them, there's a way to handle the situation so you're not the effect, or you're less the effect of their targeting, the way they're messing with you and keeping your shit triggered all the time. So they might not say something today that's so harmful, but it triggers what they said earlier that was very harmful. And just them being in your space, or you know that they could say something to you. Oh, your brothers showed up. Oh, fuck. And that alone triggers the times your brothers was saying abusive things, mentally abusive or whatever. And it will also trigger your past lives, 100,000 years ago, a million years ago. Doesn't matter. And you will be unconscious of that, but you will feel the oppression and the suppression of this sort of thing. And this, especially going over a, year after year after year after year, and you can't break free of it, that will cause a person to be depressed, be unhappy, uninspired, and feel alone or isolated. And you will start developing defense mechanisms to block their abusive behavior, but you will also start doing to yourself. This is the weird, insidious thing. You will start doing to yourself what they have been doing to you. It's a weird effort to be right. Don't hit me. You do something that they think is a big mistake. You go, don't hit me, I'll hit myself. It can be metaphorically hitting yourself, or some people might even slap themselves. Seriously, not kidding around. But mostly it's hitting yourself or insulting yourself, saying, I know, I'm a fuck up, I get it. And so we insult ourselves to be right. I'm right. You didn't make me wrong. You don't have to make me wrong. I will make myself wrong first, and that makes me right. So it's a deep level effort to still be right by making self wrong. So all this phenomena sounds like what you might be going through as we look this over. And your mother dying on that one day you couldn't show up, that was just fuel for the family or those others to use because of their nature, the kind of beings they are. You're just food. You're like a bully in school. He needs somebody to bully. His nature is that he feels good or feels better bullying the other kids. They need that. They want that. They get off on that in some way. They get some satisfaction, and it helps them either experience some kind of pleasure, or it helps them stop feeling some kind of emotional, spiritual, physical, or emotional pain. So these are like the motivating factors of why they behave that way. So anyway, that's just what I wanted to share with you as we get started. Now I'm turning over to Akvila, and we're going to be starting to schmooze into focusing on one particular thing or another. But what are your thoughts so far, Akvila, on this?
Well, no, the case with losing mom and then being attacked by a family and betrayed in that level, but at the same time, like there are other people in his life that actually betrayed him as well. So like that betrayal where can't trust anyone, disassociation, and like it was like really isolating himself as a theme. Um, so we could look into the past lives, the betrayal, what happens, and how he gets like sort of pushed away or he gets to live by himself, the triggers, and see if we can remove the triggers or anything that would like cause this. And also like another thing I'm picking up, which might be even bigger, is seeing the entities or other beings manipulating people around him and who caused these people to be that aggressive, be suppressive, and like say things or betray him and all this stuff. Like what happens, what triggered them to cause it all? Because like you definitely like being sensitive, being loving, kind, generous. This is great, and people like that get targeted a lot just for that because they have these abilities and You know, they can manifest a lot and create a lot, and the dark force don't want that. So I'm going that way. But you know,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's great. Uh, that's excellent. I'm ready to go if you are into that very thing that you just mentioned.
yeah. Um, should we start with like the past lives or entities? Because both are good. I'm picking up more on entities probably, but I know the past lives are also important.
Yeah, yeah. And to be clear, I meant the entity stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, let's go with the entity stuff. Now we can look at the entities surrounding Alex specifically, or we can look at entities surrounding his dad, his dad's girlfriend, his big brother. Uh, I'm getting big brother. As,
There's that, or like even bigger thing I'm seeing is like the mechanism that it doesn't matter who it is around Alex. Like there's something that will repel people or push them away or cause them to react in a certain way just because he's around. Like he's a target to absolutely everyone. But you know, like each of them, like you know, like the pair, like you know, like the father, his brother, and stuff like this. You know, they're subject as well. So I can probably do both. Like I can look at them all. It's not a problem to me.
yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. Just go with it fluidly in that way,
Yeah.
and we can start now.
Okay.
Entities and the mechanisms about what we just said. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, write down another thing where in past lives is his brother targeting him. That's another thing I'm
Yeah.
picking up.
Yeah.
So start with the entities and stuff.
Okay. Good deal. Start.
So far I'm seeing like a mechanism as affecting his thinking, his mind, and personality where there's all of these negative thoughts that are like enforced on him. So it might feel like Alex for you, like you know, like you're blaming yourself. Maybe you might say a negative thing to yourself, or you look at life and how bad things are, and you know, like causes depression and all this stuff. But at the same time, this is the mechanism that launches the program to repeat certain words or phrases or focus on things. It's like you know, like you might like, hey, you know, I'm just gonna focus on like taking care of myself, doing good, like doing something positive, and your focus there, that machine will always constantly cause it like procrastination or push you away to something negative, trigger you more. And because you are a powerful being with the ability to create and manifest things, they're trying to affect your perception where you see things as negative, and you're powerful where you can manifest it in an instant. So if they can cause the negative perception of things of how you are doing, how people around you are doing, how you're betrayed, how you can trust no one, like lots of these ways, they're the ones causing the perception and you're the one manifesting a lot because of your ability. So they're targeting you in that way. And I'm this is just one mechanism.
So it's like this mechanism in the mind, like a program or something, like a virus program on a
Yeah.
computer. But this mechanism is causing Alex to perceive things differently in such a way that Alex will think things about life. And because Alex is thinking the things, they manifest. Kind of like that?
Similar, and it's like enhanced negativity. As in like something negative can happen and it is bad and negative. But the thing is
Uh,
like you know like you can be hurt and okay, this happened and you let go and you carry on and you try to live on and like do something better. But
yeah.
whatever negative that happens, it stays and it keeps on going. As if like, okay, you got hurt or you got betrayed, and like, oh well, it happened, but I'm gonna try to keep on doing, and it's hard because there's
Yeah.
a mechanism that says everyone will betray you. Trust no one. It's gonna happen again. I don't want to be hurt, and like all of these things, they're gonna keep on coming, and this mechanism is just like a trigger bomb, like of tons of negativities. Is gonna like keep on manifesting things.
Okay. Yeah, I gotcha. So then, because Alex will think it over and over again, it starts to manifest even more. So it keeps itself going.
Yeah. So one thing, like, you know, like thinking and like perceiving it, believing it, feeling it, like all of these things, uh, he's the one affected and having the perception, and at the same time, dark side will try to trigger those incidents around him constantly to make sure, like, you know, okay, we're just gonna stimulate it again. Like he's going for it. We're just gonna like stimulate one more time and just trigger him more. So all it takes is for them to do a little thing, and you know, his spine because of that mechanism just like live us up even more.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, continue.
Yeah, like there's another thing. Like I'm seeing like Alex. It's very easy to connect to. Like like when people talk to him, they feel safe. Like like where they share their secrets or like whatever they're talking about, that they're gonna be understood and taken care of and all stuff. Like it's like Alex is a very like gives them a safe zone, and their entities seeing that ability and they're trying to make sure that Alex is isolated because not only that he gives safety for other people and everyone like feels like attracted to him. Another thing like is that like in that connection he is more empowered. Like when there's the understanding and communication and approval and stuff, he starts glowing and growing and getting better. And in let's say masses where there is support and understanding and he is nourished, he just starts blooming as a being and just thinking like whatever he has is gonna be 100 times more bigger, and you just can't give off to humanity and everyone else and like like really change things over. Entities are aware of this ability and they're like, we have to isolate this being because he's very powerful and he's threatening when he is in mass and doing good. So the mechanism that these entities create is more like they're trying to push all the people away from him. Like all the people like is gonna like they're gonna like feel this like already like pushed away, like it's hard to connect with him, like they might have a weird opinion, or if they connect, like the entities will try to mess up their perception or the things that they say, like you're having a normal conversation and the entity tunes into the being, changing their feeling states, perception, thoughts and stuff, and all of a sudden as the being is talking the entity will flip and there will be a few words coming out that will trigger Alex. And it's like like they might hurt and stuff, and all of a sudden there's a misunderstanding and miscommunication, and all of a sudden like like, hey, I thought you're a good guy, I thought I trusted you, and like all of a sudden it's like different. So like the entity will target people around him to cause like all these like misunderstandings and like harder situations and make sure like everyone's pushed away and stuff. So like there's another thing going on like that.
Yeah. So the other beings in a space uh, won't perceive clearly Alex's intent or words or thoughts or expression.
Yeah.
And they will misperceive it. And that's how these entities are messing with the other people in space, causing them to not get it. And then they think Alex is something that he's not, and then they don't want to be around him, or they don't like him, or they get aggressive toward him, or something like that.
Exactly.
Okay, continue.
I'm also noticing an implant is the astral one. It's like there's three of them. Like think root chakra, like in the stomach, like stomach and chest area, like that, like between the ribs, like in the middle. And also like throat area, like somewhere here, somewhere. So like these implants like are trying to stop this communication where like he has like um everything comes up, he's able to express himself, but it stops here, and he can't communicate through it. Like it's kind of like stops everything, like isolates the whole thing. And
stops there in the throat.
Yeah, so like the whole energy can go up and boom, it stops and like cannot be expressed. So like the energy is stored and like sort of like it gathers up and like shakes the whole system and stuff. That's one thing, but that same implant will be draining him, like sucking his energy and putting it out as like cords to attracting the negative people. So like they're like sucking all his energy up, making sure like he's sort of like tired and exhausted and he doesn't have this creativity. There's nothing like good going for him, but that energy is used to like create like let's say cores that will like go in the environment like outwards, and it's gonna like look for people that are let's say narcissists and psychopaths, sociopaths, and anyone who will be harmful, and it's gonna be like attached to them. So they come here like as like hey, and then they want to talk to you. They finally like, oh, someone wants to talk to me. They finally someone to communicate with, and all of a sudden these people who appear as friendly, like they feel that attachment, like like, oh, like this being I can connect with and stuff, but they come in and these people are actually not good for him. They're actually gonna harm him, and like because of these attachments, like the implant is gonna look for people who will be easy to come into his life and then hurt him. So like it's like an like loop mechanism, if that makes sense.
Yep, it sure does. Wow. Okay. And what's next?
I'm gonna scan some more. Like right now, I'm focusing on Alex and like what is it that stirs up the people, the environment, all the stuff. Like what's causing all these issues. So I'm gonna focus like if there's anything else. then we can remove it all and focus on his brother Smurfing.
Okay. Okay. Start.
Yeah, like their like agreements, contracts, and different kind of things that are trying to destroy his beingness. As in, we know that Alex originally like is like kind of hard at great being can manifest things. Darkseid knows that, so they're really targeting, making sure like they're gonna do everything they can to change his perception about who he is. As in, you know, I'm not good enough. I fucked up with like not going to see my mother. I'm guilty, bad, wrong, blah blah blah. And everyone around him will keep on saying things about him to affect his perception that he's like really bad in like tons of different ways. And so from being loving, creative, and giving like all these like great things that he is, the perception changes into bad, not good enough, unworthy, blah blah blah, like all negative stuff. And it's like trying to reshape the being into like being nothing and like sort of like giving away his powers and like basically tearing himself apart and stuff. So there's that thing, and I think like it's probably one of the biggest ones as well. I can also look for the missing soul aspects, everything that was like torn away from him, his abilities, stuff like his nature, personalities, and all this stuff. I can look for those, and I can remove everything we found, like all these implants and the entities and stuff and mechanisms, and make sure like he gets his powers back.
Okay. Good plan.
All right.
Okay. Start.
Yeah, like starting with removing these implants in his bodies, like like there's like three of those. And as I'm tearing it apart, like like pulling them out and stuff, like as a being, like sees like the energy like a heart, like finally starts floating, like really like restoring himself, like it's natural, like it was just overlaid with the mechanism that would suck it all up. So, like
Wow.
just seeing that, just saying.
Yeah. I feel it too. It's cool.
Also, like I guess it's like a partial birth bump, as in they got him into family that's like not really good for him, where he cannot be himself, he cannot like be nourished and all. It's just like like it seems like he could have had two choices, like with the very loving family, or the family where actually his mom will be there for him and he's gonna like have a good relationship with mom, but everyone else kind of like pushy, and he loses the only person that he has. Like of course, like it's a setup. They already foreseen that stuff, and like we're gonna fuck this being up, and the only person that he has, that he loves, that he takes care of, like the only connection, him. So it's
Yeah.
just, it's like more of a setup from that as well.
Yeah. Okay. Continue.
It's like as I'm removing all these influences and stuff, I'm getting communication from his mom. Like like I'm really like just like boom, my cards just teleported to her, and like she like, hey, you're working on my son. I want to tell him something. So Alex,
Uh-huh.
listen up. Uh, she's not blaming you for not showing up. She doesn't feel any anger or anything. Like no bad emotions there. It's more like she's understanding. Like, hey, you were tired. It's like it's okay. I'm totally fine with that. And your well-being is very important to her, and she would like make sure like she would do anything for you. So there are no bad emotions of you like not showing up or doing anything. And she's saying like like it's more like these beings that are targeting you, they are the ones trying to make you feel guilty about it, like they're trying to destroy you by that. And she has no bad emotions or like no, holding nothing back and stuff. So she loves you. She like she's doing good. She's like in the greater realms, like she's not stuck or reincarnating or anything. She's out living in quite a big planet. Like right now, it's like as I'm looking around, like there's like these massive forests. Like like if we would know sequoia trees, just imagine them having these green layers of what's it called? That
Moss.
yeah,
Moss.
probably moss. Like like the whole forest, like it's super massive. Like it has the bedding of moss everywhere, but it's like very soft, like like a pillow, like a little cloud, like very fluffy, and like it actually feels good. It's not like you step on the ground like 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 that. Like it's actually very comfortable, like a little carpet and stuff. And like the whole forest is like that, where the trees are freaking massive. Like it's like 5, 6 cars, and like you just cannot like hug it all, and like it's this big, and like like she's like this looking like more like an elven like goddess of the forest, where she can touch the ground and like make these forests and trees grow, and just giving life to nature and allowing like animals to come in and just like live there. So like as in this round, like she's happy, she's doing well. uh she doesn't feel anything bad for you, and it's more like you are being targeted, and they've tried to uh cause a situation to make sure like they can trigger you a lot because of that thing. But she's doing good, and she still loves you now. So this is just what she wanted to show or say. So I'm just giving that.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, would it be? I've always wanted to do this. Alex, we've never really talked to people who have crossed over for clients. This is a first. Uh, but now that you're there, Agvila, can you ask her? So many people have this question about when they die, is there going to be an energy grid that they're going to get caught in, or they have to dodge or jump around? Or you and I understand the phenomena, Agvila, and it's not a situation. But I was wondering how it was for Alex's mother. Could she give her experience when she crossed over, and how did she get to her wonderful place without going to the line? All this, what could you find out?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
She's saying that like as she was laying in bed, she like she realized that like she opens her eyes and she's in bed, like she's seeing herself like, oh, I died, and all of a sudden like she has understanding of death, and she's hearing voices from different beings. It's like someone like she trusts, or like this very comforting voice, and I just like stopped everything to tell you about it, but I'm like gonna have the conversation like just saying.
Yeah, please continue.
I have to write down the name. Yeah, like Mutan, as in Mutan, I think.
Mutan.
Yeah, Mutan Alvru. Like I'll probably type the like name later, but basically these beings are saying like, hey, like they're communicating to her and telepathically. She doesn't see them or anything, but she's just like picking up the communication. They're saying like, stay where you are. Don't talk to anyone. Do not go into the light. Stick here. There is a place that where you lived before this lifetime. This is what it's called. They give her the name, like Meet and Elvru and stuff. And they're saying like, put your intention there, and in an instant when she just focuses on the name, she teleports. So the consciousness from being from here, like in the hospital where she passed away, focuses on the name, and it sort of rings the bell from the past lives, and boom, she moves to that place, and all of a sudden like these beings are there, like these alien beings. They're like in a circle group, like they receive her. So like they form a circle, and she like teleports in the middle, and they're like a family, like super happy to see her. And they just give her free time to realize what happens. Like they're not like really engaging with her or like giving her freedom to understand the whole situation, and they're making sure like she's safe and protected, and the whole thing with like the grid or anything else doesn't even happen. They're basically telling like, hey, don't talk to anyone, don't go anywhere, this is what we're gonna do. And she gets a command, she does it, and she goes.
Great. No grid, nothing.
No.
No problems. Excellent. Thank you.
Sure.
And tell her I said thank you too.
All right.
And thank you, Alex, too, for even bringing the subject up. It's kind of new. It's really new for Agvila and I to even do this sort of thing. But anyway, where are we at now?
People that passed away?
Well, for me, to do it in a session with a client.
Yeah.
Is what I mean.
Right.
Sure, you've talked to a lot of crossed over, but we've never done it in a session for a client before. Okay, yeah, please continue. Where are we at on this?
She still wants to say a few things. Like she did not finish telling me about the experience now. So.
Okay.
So they're saying like she's saying that like as they were there like forming the circle, they put like this massive intention of giving her love, and she was just like overfull with these like very positive like good emotions, like with joy and like feeling really good about it. And that kind of like lifted her vibration, where it just popped from like human experience, I just died, into massive love, where like it's like really like just being high on it, where it kills the case and all that you've had, all the thinking and all your understanding, to where boom, you realize like, wow. And she recalls her past lives, and she gets into from being that individual from a person on earth to the consciousness like, hey, is just in our life. So like basically like as an understanding, like that race is trying to lift their vibrations and make sure like people like who pass away and go there, they had sort of like cleansing, as in like release from the personality, from ego, from that like one perspective, into like realizing who the conscious really is, and like having the freedom to do all these things. So like no clinging to a physical reality or anything. It's just like, you know, like that release where you see the bigger picture and you're free of it, kind of like.
Yeah, wow. That is so great. That's amazing. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, his mom's saying, like, you know, like I'm not coming back on there. She doesn't want to, but she's willing to give that energy and, like, you know, like that kind of loving feeling where that she received to be free from the case and like one perspective, you know, like individuality and stuff. Like I said, like from like human point of view now. She's willing to give that kind of love to lift up others and, like, you know, like make sure like Alex gets it, and through Alex he can get it and like give it to others as well on Earth. So she's like, you know, like willing to make that connection and trying to make sure like it's all safe now.
Wow. Great. Okay. Well done.
So now, like, you know, like as I'm removing like the agreements and like just doing the cleansing, like his mom is getting into like more of an engagement. As in, like, while being here on Earth, she did not had that much of awareness of the realization and what's going on. But as we're having the conversation now, they're in the greater like reality. She's like, okay, here's what's happening, and like she's pointing to, you know, like Alex's brother and how he is actually like, you know, a good being, but he's being controlled. Like there are like these cords attached to him, and like, you know, taken over, like hijacked, and like now he's a tool to actually trigger Alex and their people, and like, you know, like he's pretty harsh, like, you know, like just got fucked over as well. So like she's just showing like what's going on, like saying like to cut these cords and like get that connection off and all.
Okay. Good. Continue.
Yeah, and another thing, like it matches with what you've said, like regarding suppressive people with every contact we have and all. Um, like all it takes is a simple hello, like a phone call and like text message or anything, like any kind of contact with the brother. It's more like it doesn't even have to say anything, just like a single thought about him is where he can, like a vampire, access your energy and drain you, and then use that to sort of like against you, where like it's gonna be attack on you or just like harm you and all, and like those cores will get bigger. So like I cut the cores. I'm just like looking at other mechanisms in play, and you know, can remove those as well.
Okay, good. Please continue.
Yeah, so like I got rid of the connections, and you know, Alex, your mom is saying that you're a good kid. And one thing like is interesting is that usually like I do this like work alone, and now she's the more like, you know, like connected to the whole thing, like showing me like what's going on, and like as if like in a place where I would have to like grab the energy and give it to Alex, like, you know, like find this like life essence or the other soul aspects. It's like she's here with me, and she's like, you know, like it's two of us working together at the same time, and like it's actually like quite empowering. Like it's like interesting. Like I haven't had that going on. So
That's
yeah, you're
neat.
saying.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. So like this is the last step. Like we're gonna give like energy. We're gonna give Alex his energy, life essence, and like connect him to the different parts of himself that he lost. And you know, I think this is the positive place where we can actually like wrap it up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right?
Start.
Yeah. Got the energy back, like life essence, and connect him to the different parts. And another thing, like his mom, like with their race, they're willing to like do the astral surgeries on Alex, as in, you know, whenever he goes to sleep and his astral body is free, um, part of him can actually be taken to that realm where they can work on him, like do some spiritual work, like and make sure like his body's doing better and different kind of things, and have those connections. So like, I would say like Alex and like be open to that kind of event happening. You might have dreams or connections where you actually like go to that realm. Like they want to connect with you, they want to help you and stuff. So uh, like being open to it, and also like let's see, having a filter or rules of where you can go, who's taking you, and like what are you doing, you know. Like I don't know, like better explanation would be like imagine like that like energy circle around you, and put rules of who can talk to you, who can be with you, who can you communicate, and who cannot get close and stuff. And so like give access to your mom and her friends, but like no one else, kind of like that. But these are just my thoughts. Like you're rich, you probably can explain that.
Oh no, yeah. Yeah, same thing. If when you go to bed at night or when you meditate, uh, with your energy shield, kind of like energy bubble around you, uh, only those loving being, and this is how I'd start. You can expand on it or change the wording all you want, but uh, allowing my mother's help and love and attention. And my specific mother named, because we've had more than one,
Yeah.
but my mother, clearly, which mother, and her assistants and those that she loves and trusts to enter into my space to help me.
Yeah, and as well as like as long as it's in your best benefits and all of that.
As long as it's in my best interests and promotes my uh, uh, love and harmony and peace in the universe or the multiverse, something like that. You can tweak the wording. Yeah.